name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for your star sign, for Sun, Moon or Rising. As it's detailed in the title, it's a bulk introduction for all 12. So as ever, there will be a time signature down below, so you can skip ahead to the reading because you really want to watch 3 of them if you can. Sun sign, obviously. And moon sign is highly relevant, especially with this being a lunar eclipse. And your rising sign was the most important sign in ancient astrology, so that's one to go for as well. If you're not familiar with what your moon and rising sign is, there is a link in the chart below. I'm not going to spend too much on the astrology of this lunar eclipse, apart from it's 2020. It's big, because of course it is. It's 2020. And I've also done a video with astrologer David Fisher, which you should find a link to that down below as well. As for other housekeeping about links down below, there's also a link to the Facebook page for this channel where you can contact me directly if you're wanting me for a personal reading. Plus I post all of these videos and I post all the astrology videos that I'm watching, the weather report style readings. So general reading rules apply. You know, this time is hardly absolute. With a lunar eclipse, they say it can last up to 3 months, sometimes a month before and 2 months afterwards. With a solar eclipse, which of course we're having in 2 weeks, then that can be more of a 6-month cycle. So, you know, take that under advisement as you're listening to the reading. It's a full moon gods at play reading, obviously, because that's what I do for the full moon. So by their very nature, they are dramatic. That's the whole design of the reading. I'll discuss that more when I bring the cards up. But first, I just want to spend a moment looking at the symbols of the degrees where this full moon is taking place. So it's occurring at 9:29 AM GMT. So amend that time for your time difference from GMT, for your time zone, sorry, I should say. At 8 degrees 37 minutes of Gemini. So in terms of the symbol, that is the 9th degree of Gemini. So if we look at the inside degrees, for the actual moon itself, we have wildflowers growing around the ruins of a temple. Now the interpretation of this is really nice. Catching a second wind, taking a booster rocket from one cycle to another, one lifetime to another, or one whole stage in evolution to another. Now that sounds great, phenomenal. And we could certainly use that with everything that's been going on. So, shot out of a cannon to discover the next great thing. You are wildly attentive to signs and portents, looking for a way to the future. Well, you're watching this, aren't you? So, coming out of immense soul experience with flying colours leaping forth into the new. Enthusiastic, naive and impressionable, eager for 1,000 universes to come true. Now, there's a really interesting point. We have Neptune stationing during this full moon. So at the same time, it is squaring the nodes. So the power of the future is causing a tension with your dreams. So you may be forced closer towards the truth, you know, an objective truth, whatever that is, or even further into your dreams, where really you want to try to balance reality in your dreams. The whole idea of a square is that you find a creative solution using both aspects of that, both ends, like using Neptune and the North Node, using how you're setting your future with your dreams. Anyway, to continue the symbol, enthusiastic, naive and impressionable. I already said that, didn't I? You feel the ultimate springtime quality of fresh immediacy and wind-blown alacrity, just sensing all through body and soul, the possibilities, the openings, what wants to happen next. A destiny bearer, universal in spirit and in the right place at the right time for the remarkable synchronicities and huge turnarounds. That offers a lot of hope. But then again, it could, with it being the eclipse, this is the That's the image of the degree that is being obscured, where the moon is going into this degree and then all light from the moon disappears. So that's the ideal use of this degree. But there's a double edge to that, that unless you're really making the effort, you won't get to use the power of that degree, because the moon obviously is eclipsed. But the good news is it's only a partial eclipse, so you do still get some light from the moon, so you do still get some of the energy from this degree. But what was interesting is the opposing degree, 8 degrees Sagittarius. I'll come back when I can learn to speak. Where the sun is shining and is casting its light, the light that is partially obscured by the shadow of the earth when it hits the moon. So we have, for inside degrees, a man with green skin. He is dressed with leaves. Playful, exuberant, spontaneous and elusive, you are restless under constraint, with all of civilization representing constraint. You're desperate to be free. When not held down, you have spectacular abilities and affinities, but when bound by time, you become abrasive and provoking. Temperamental in extreme ways, aching for free movement in a vast territory, drawn to every extreme that exists. Here we see again that power of Neptune being stationary. It actually turns stationary on the, well, becomes stationary, I should say, on the day of the full moon. The body and soul of one who can never be identified, tamed or narrowed. You are the one who knows how deep the earth is, surging with volatile currents, and these bear all hope and promise if they are followed with open arms. The one who shows everybody what life is like when it lets itself go and contagiously ripples, with permission and encouragement for each and all to come out and play and explore the far edges, and even perhaps over those edges into the greater wilderness, claiming the allegiance of those whose wildness is no passing whim, but the only viable way. So again, we've got that double edge. We've got that power of Neptune going on. Are you going to dive deeper into your echo chamber? Are you going to dream a better future? Are you going to be able to look at reality and make those dreams into reality and not just think that you're in those dreams? You know, there's all sorts of different levels here. This is very much a decision time. It's a preparatory time. We are coming up to the Great Conjunction, which, as I saw in one video going, well, it's only every 20 years, but it's part of a far larger cycle. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is the first time it's occurring in an air sign, and now for the next 200 years or so, it will be occurring in air signs. So we've got what's called a mutation, a great shift into air, a great shift into being more intellectual, more informed, and possibly a little less emotional, for good or for ill. You know, there's no one's going to say that there is anything wrong with emotions. They have their place. They are vital to how we function. But in the meantime, this is a house clearing time to sort out, hang on a minute, what am I wanting to achieve here, and what do I no longer need to achieve it? And that's definitely an empowered negative statement. What do I need to dispose of in order to achieve what I'm wanting to achieve? Now, this degree is ruled by, if I remember correctly, it's ruled by Rochelle, who is an angel all about restitution and finding lost objects. So again, there's the lost objects, not as the things that you're getting rid of, but the things that you are making space for. Now, opposing this, Yehuya, who I did not actually just draw the meaning up for. Let's see, Yehuya, where we got? So, Yehuya, now here's a good one. Revealing the dark side or subordination to higher order. Now, again, there's two ways. Considering we had that image all about rebellion and trying to find freedom, there's two ways you can see that higher order. Are we talking about a mundane higher order, a higher order that is existing here on the planet, or are we talking more to a more esoteric, spiritual submission to the higher order of the divine? And again, that choice is slowly being presented to us by each individual piece being brought up to our attention, each individual piece of our dreams, piece of our belief systems, piece of our day-to-day life, day-to-day practice being brought up to go, you know, do I really need this? And either answer is okay, but you have to ask the question. So either answer is like, no, I don't need this anymore. Its time has passed. That's fine. Or yes, this is essential for what I want to accomplish. This is essential for me being whom I want to be. And it will enable us to love our own process more, if that makes sense. And the reason I say that is ruling the decan that this eclipse is occurring in on the moon side is the goetic spirit Ammon. Certainly in the day it is Ammon, and at night it is Sabnok. So here for the northern hemisphere, well, if it's daytime and Ammon is ruling it wherever it is, and if it's nighttime it's Sabnok. So looking at Ammon is a goetic spirit who can be very much about love. Can be used or can be appealed to in love magic that gives aid in divination. So Ammon's energies can certainly help us try and see the future with a little bit more clarity. And this is interesting. Ammon gives aid in divination and helps the sorcerer get in touch with her true will. So it's not just my vision for the future, my dream for the future under all that Neptunian influence. It's going, hang on a minute, this dream I've got of the future, is this what I really want? Is it one of these, I think someone called them on a video I was watching recently, false beliefs? You know, because you get brought up to be told that you need to be a doctor or a lawyer, and if you're not those, then you're not good enough. Or that everybody needs the house and 2.5 kids and the car. Or, you know, all of these beliefs that are what society or family or whoever or the TV tells you that you want, when actually is, no, I want to ride on horseback on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. I want to spend my life hosting a YouTube channel. I want to spend my life living in the forest and caring for the forest. Or I really want to get involved in social work, tapestry, you know, knitting, you know, whatever it is that really floats your boat. You have to be able to say, yeah, hang on a minute, that floats your boat. I've been fighting for the past 10 years to save enough money to put a mortgage down on this house, and I don't even want to be a homeowner. I want to be free. I want to do what free people do. You know, there's really diving down to go, okay, I want the house and the car, or I don't want the house and the car. I want happiness. I want success in business. I want success in love. I want to make my friends' lives better, my clients' lives better. I want to paint things. You know, whatever it is that you want, just learning to be honest about what it is that you want and then going for it. Now, Sabnok, what have I got on Sabnok? Not a lot of information. Now, he builds high towers and castles and cities on the astral plane. So he's all about constructing. If you know anything about creative visualization, which is often covered under nowadays under like law of attraction. You visualize a situation, a condition, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into being, and you visualize it so hard, is that the way to say it, that you are believing yourself in it and you are knowing that it is already real. That is building a castle on the astral plane, which is exactly what Sabnok is doing. So Amon is helping you identify what you want to build, or if the eclipse is happening during nighttime for you, Sabnok is helping you build the vision of it and therefore be calling that into your future. Assuming, of course, you're taking the advantage to, well, to clear out the stuff that you do not need. Now, there was another thing that I wanted to go back to, the 8 degrees Gemini symbols. Yes, the 8 degrees Gemini symbol for the the Omega symbol, a ruby growing in a laboratory, however you say it. So even though fake, you know, but not fake, it's still a ruby. It's beautiful, it's crystalline, and I personally love, I love red. I mean, I wear a lot of garnet. Ruby is, actually I prefer garnet to ruby, but ruby has such a depth and motion to it with that red colour, with that red vibration of moving forward with things. But this is not so much about moving forward, this lunar eclipse. This is about preparing to move forward and knowing which way forward is. There's not much more that I want to say. Obviously, if this has been useful for you, like, share and subscribe. I'm sure I'll say that at the end of the reading as well. But also, now you can breathe a sigh of relief and press the timestamp thing, get to the readings. I'll bring the cards up for you. Okay, Taurus, as you probably know, the top row of cards here are the masks worn by the archons as they try to keep you away from your divine purpose. And this bottom row are the gods themselves trying to lift you up to your divine purpose. So we have arraigned against you, we have the Jade Emperor with organization. We have Hermes with messages. Eostra, or well, Easter, with new beginnings. Angana with health, and Aphrodite with attraction, which is a curious mix to start off with. The story doesn't immediately become apparent with them until you look at those gods that are working on your side. We have Kernunos with shapeshifting, Hades with the underworld, Amaterasu with self-esteem, Zume with persuasion, and Alcmene with unfairness. Now, again, seems curious, but what I'm seeing here is that there is some unfairness that you see, that you are aware of. It is possibly something where you have knowledge, secret knowledge, whatever, that informs you to the point of going, hang on a minute, that's wrong. That's really wrong. And I have the ability to speak up. I have the ability to actually fight for on somebody's side, on their behalf, to give them a voice. I mean, we have here the Angel of Wisdom. Wisdom comes from the depths of my experience. So I immediately link that word depths with Hades' underworld here. And then Aiel, I think that's how you pronounce it. Aiel, with fame and renown. So this is a public forum. This is you standing up in front of more than one person, going, hang on a minute, you're not being fair to them. This is not right. This is something that, and I can tell you why it's not right. Now, this may well be a departure from your standard approach. You know, it might be something where normally you'd be, do I really want to take that on board? Think about the stress. Think about the effect it will have on my life. Think about the effect of how really, you know, it's almost like there's two conflicting forces here. You really don't want to do it because you don't want to rock the boat. But that, whatever that happens to be, that is wrong. It is not right. It is unfair. It is unjust. It is not, it's not playing by the standards that it needs to be. And there is a momentum, that's interesting. There is a momentum in whatever that is, that can just keep going and keep going and keep going. But you somehow are aware of, no, I have a way to stop this in its tracks. Now, I am not saying that you're going to stop it like that. This is a fight that you are, no. Well, yes, but fight as in debate, not fisticuffs. But this is quite a fight that you will be taking on board. But there's news. Aha, right. So there's news of things that come in that just, they are not correct. You need to, right. Whatever this unfair thing is, it's something that is acting as if it's new. But, now what's the phrase? But it's the same old whatever in something's clothing. Yeah, I can't remember what the precise phrase is, but with Eostra here with the Justice card, I'm rather thinking same crap, different day. Different day tries to appear like it's different crap. It's not. It's exactly the same as it's always been. And you're getting to the point where you go, yeah, okay, it might be a challenge to my health, to, you know, whether that's mental health or the amount of hours in the day that's being used in this or what have you. It may be a challenge to my health to take this fight on board, but it is also a challenge to my health to let this slide, whatever it is. And there is that sense of, you believe that you have the chance. Well, this is nice. Nearly all, in fact it is, it's all major arcana on the bottom row. This is the Labyrinth tarot that I'm using. Let me bring that up on the big screen. We have, with the shape-shifting, we have the Magician. So, an expression of your power in a new form, but also maybe you possibly resorting to some form of trickery to get something revealed, to get this institution here represented by the Jade Emperor to make some form of admission or make some form of policy change. But you are going to be enhancing your own career with AIL here, and the Emperor with Uzume and her silver tongue that she can talk anybody into doing anything. We have the Judgment card showing that you can take this unfairness, whatever it is, and transform it into something, well, I want to say beautiful, but it's about time that you stood up like this. With the moon here with Amaterasu, I'm getting two levels. It's like you've not believed that you could do this before, and also the pressure to do this has been growing and growing, like the waxing to the like the new to the full moon, waxing towards the full moon. So this is a real opportunity. You take a chance, And to be honest, what I'm seeing here with these cards is that if you take a chance of standing up and going, no, this can be done differently, then you stand a high chance of winning. If you back out, nothing will change. It will be the same old, and basically whatever this new thing that you're presented with is mutton dressed as lamb. And yeah, there might be messages and news coming in of things finishing. Fine, kill this thing before it starts and do it properly, or make sure that it's done properly, I think is a better way of saying it. So that's pretty short and sweet, isn't it, Taurus? But you've got quite an interesting challenge here coming up for you. Okay.